All righty. By my watch, we are just past 1. I've got 1:01 Eastern for those who are on the same time zone. And in spite of Freddie's instructions not to stop him, and as much as I love that song, we are going to jump in because we've got some great updates from our 2.7.4 release. So let's go ahead and move on to the next slide. So to let you know who's joining you as the host and speakers today, I am Sydney Kita. I am the Senior Marketing Communications Manager at Revel Systems, and I am joined by folks who know a whole lot more about our product than I do. So big thanks to Jimmy First, who is one of our product managers, and Clay Harden, also a product manager here at Revel. So we are going to talk through some highlights, definitely some of our favorite features, and then a quick note for housekeeping. We will do a Q&A at the end, so feel free to submit questions along the way, but note that we're going to hold that section to the end of the presentation. And just as a quick note about 2.7.4, so this is our second annual release of the year. We usually do 3 major releases, and then occasionally we'll have incremental releases along the way when we're just so excited about a new feature or functionality that we can't wait to roll it out. And basically, in addition to the latest and greatest offerings that we have, there's also security enhancements, back-end fixes, and all kinds of different things that you can take advantage of. So lots of great reasons to upgrade to the latest apps that we have on the market. And so if you haven't already explored these, they're available on the App Store. And we will go ahead and jump into what's new. So I'll kick it over to Jimmy.
Thanks, Sydney, and hello all. My name is Jimmy First, as Sydney has said, and I'm the product manager for ordering and store operations here at Revel. I just hit my 1-year anniversary, and this is my 3rd release, but no matter how many times I do these webinars, still get little butterflies. But let's kick this off with the new online ordering queue. So next slide, please. All right, next, one more slide, please. Due to COVID, we've seen a tremendous shift away from in-store dining and the rise of online ordering originating from multiple channels. We know this adds complexity to day operations, and we have created an online order queue to display all native and third-party online orders. This is a part of a larger initiative we're working on called Order Management Systems, or as we call it, OMS for short. OMS is going to be our next step in order management innovation and will allow merchants to easily filter between order queues, adding flexibility for any business use. Merchants will be able to open any order from any queue at any POS quickly and easily. So let me give you a quick example of what this will do for you. If you have a drive-through window and you want to hand off not only drive-through orders through the window, but other dining types such as pickup, third-party orders, you will easily be able to access the different queues efficiently using the OMS when it's finished. Next slide, please. So let me show you what we built. The online order queue's design is updated to Revel's latest format and intuitively displays all the pertinent information for the user. You may recognize this design from our drive-through order queue or driver XT order queue, which we just released. This is intentional as we plan to bring UI parity across all the order queues. The first column contains icons that can be added to the custom dining options to help quickly identify which source the order is coming through. The second column shows the order's paid status, followed by customer info, order due time, order type, and kitchen status. The sidebar will allow all the relevant details for any order, and payments can be taken from this queue. New top bar will allow you to filter orders by opened and completed, as well as past, yesterday, today, and future. New orders are identified by the purple bar on top, which is our current functionality, so you should be used to seeing that. And lastly, the new queue can now be opened from any POS station, whether it's a child or a main. Let's move on to the next slide, please. Okay, so we built a new user interface for group combos, allowing for all products and modifiers to be displayed on a single, easy-to-use screen. Next slide. Why did we do this? Why do we build a new combo builder screen? It will increase the speed of service through fewer button clicks and reduce training time and costs because of the intuitive design. We're really excited to share with you what we built, so let's take a closer look. Next slide. As you can see in this video here, as mentioned before, the combo builder is now on one screen. Each column is scrollable with the products at the top and the modifiers below. A summary pane can be toggled on and off at the user's discretion, and buttons are now responsive. And this means they expand when quantities need adjustments. We have alerts with missing products and modifiers. And it fully supports our deferred modifiers we released a few releases ago. Also supported are modifier labels such as no, side, only, and light. We've added a sidebar summary pane that contains the combo summary and where special instructions can be added. Finally, we've added dynamic pricing, which means the price updates in real time in the combo builder. So if you add a new item, guess what? It will add the price on that sidebar right there. You're probably asking about LinkedIn split combos. They are in flight, and that means we're working on them right now, and we're going to release them in the near future. So let's go to the next slide, please. Delivery XT Dispatch app version 3. Before we talk about what's new, let's talk about what Delivery XT is. It's Revel's native delivery management solution, allowing establishments to manage their own fleet of drivers. Next slide, please. We have significantly updated the dispatch app for Delivery XT in this release. We did this to make Delivery XT easier to find orders, ETA more accurate, and to add more flexibility to manage a fleet of drivers. Next slide. So, what's new? One more, please. My apologies. So what's new? We revamped the EAT system to ensure more accurate timing projections. We have also added a search bar to help filter orders by either order number, delivery address, full name, or phone number. We have adjusted the promise time selector to be more versatile, allowing the expected delivery times to be adjusted anywhere from 1 to 999 minutes. Probably overkill, but we will make sure it works for every business case. Lastly, we have revamped the sidebar for easier navigation. Next slide. We are proud to announce that Driver XT powered by DoorDash Drive is now live. Woo! Next slide, please. So what is Driver XT by DoorDash Drive? It is completely separate from DoorDash Marketplace, does not rely on DoorDash's app or website, and offers a different customer experience entirely. Driver XT powered by DoorDash Drive is a white label courier service and allows merchants access to DoorDash's network of drivers. Said in a different way, this is a mechanism that allows merchants who do not have the capability to do in-house delivery to do so with DoorDash's fleet while eliminating any middleware. Net results, the creation of a new revenue stream while dramatically reducing costs for our merchants. With Driver XT, you will not have to employ your own drivers or carry your own insurance with that burden being absorbed by DoorDash. Next slide, please. So I want to share some of the results from our early adopter program we conducted with Primo Hoagies. We had 3 test locations, and I want to make some call outs here. Location 1 saw almost 9% of their sales generated by Deliver XT. This was due to 2 main factors. The store launched with Driver XT, and guest behaviors and expectations were not fully developed in the stores. Therefore, there was no learning that had to be done by the guest to inform them that they now had delivery. The other 2 stores were established locations where delivery was a new, unfamiliar option for their customers, so there was some training involved. Factor 2 was a demographic one. Location 1 was in downtown urban environments, and guests were accustomed to delivery. Their 2 locations were in suburbs, and the guests were more likely to dine in. However, the Driver XT sales are purely incremental in those 2 locations. So please take a look at the average check. Huge numbers. We found customers leverage the service for catering, resulting in these impressively high check averages. So to summarize this, we found that this increased incremental sales from anywhere from 2 to 9%. So that is brand new revenue. And we also saw this was a conduit for catering and driving up sales and also those average checks. So that's all from store operations. And now I'll pass it over to Clay.
Hey guys, Clay Harden, and I'm going to talk about payments and device management. Next slide. So device management, to start with that, if you have deployed any equipment or upgraded or deployed a new location over the last couple of years, you're probably familiar with RevelGuard XT. That's what drives our device management solution. And it's an area that we continue to invest in. The focus kind of in 274 is really a continuation of focusing on simplifying our deployment model, improving the manageability and our upgrade process of our devices in the field. And as our clients get more complicated with more locations and more equipment in each location, management at scale. So us being able to manage thousands of devices remotely and easily. Next slide. So starting with mobile device management, so MDM or mobile device management is how we remotely update and manage iPads in the field. In 274, we have integrated our mobile device management solution with our management console. And this adds more capabilities and makes it more powerful. So the process starts with our fulfillment process, where as an iPad is pulled off our shelves, assigned to an individual station in the store, a point of sale, mobile order taker, kiosk, etc., the serial number is scanned in, associating that physical device in our management console and tying it to our MDM. So the MDM, at that point, the MDM and management console are synced for management of the device. Things like the name of the iPad get automatically assigned to the physical device as a part of how it's configured in the management console. This enables things like better visibility, where in the past, it was just not feasible to rename every device for the role in the store, which means when it came time to do support or upgrades, we were somewhat reliant on store staff to kind of help us figure out what's what in the store, which one's your main and which ones, by the serial number. This eliminates that, right? So not only does it make us more efficient, but it eliminates the need for your staff to be involved in these things which we needed to address, right? So so performing updates or any kind of support scenario, we have better visibility. The information or the devices are tied to the management console, enabling us better visibility and a more efficient support model. This also enables other capabilities. Let's go to the next slide. So provisioning is the process of when we either deploy a brand new iPad or for some reason have to perform some major support functionality against iPad. We have to associate that iPad to the client URL and to the establishment and identify what station it is, so it knows what menus and CRM data, things like that, to download, as well as it's capturing transactions, where to feed it back to. So that provisioning process is a key part of that deployment model. Up until now, if there was ever any scenario where we had to re-provision a device in the field, we were reliant on your staff basically to perform that. We walked them through the process on our support team, but it's once again an example of where we were impacting your operations by depending on you guys to help us solve problems. So now we have the ability to fully remotely perform those tasks without getting staff involved. It does depend on the device being an MDM managed solution. So it's iPads sent over the last couple of years. Some older devices may or may not be part of that program, but it is something that we continue to invest in just to have better support, better maintenance, better upgrade process, and a better overall experience for our client base. All right, next slide. Let's talk a little bit about payments and gift card. So in 274, our focus in this area, a lot of it was architectural, which may not have an immediate visible impact to you guys, our customers, our clients. But what it allows us to do is have a more consistent experience across the Revel suite of products. So whether it's point of sale, kiosk, mobile order taker, online ordering, smart dining, smart order, having that consistent experience and having consistent support of features and capabilities for alternative payment methods like Apple Pay, things like that. By building this infrastructure out, it allows us to get things time to market faster and having that consistent coverage across our suite of applications. I also want to talk about Apple Pay and some new device support for Revel Advantage International offering. So let's go to the next slide. So Apple Pay is, and I'm going to talk about the demos running to the side, and what you'll see in the demo is just pretty much what you come to expect with a e-commerce platform that supports Apple Pay, where you get the familiar pay with Apple Pay, with the touch ID or facial ID, depending on the device the consumer's using. But it's it brings that modern shopping experience that consumers have come to expect. Apple reports over 1 billion active Apple Pay users. So this is a widely adopted platform. We're seeing just in the locations that have enabled this since the 274 release, we immediately are seeing our 25 to 30% of overall sales are being paid for with the Apple Pay process. This because it increases. There's hard data to show that sites that have Apple Pay enabled increase conversion rates. So basically, that's eliminating the abandoned cart counts. It also drives more return business back to your website versus sites where you've got to go find your credit card and key in the information, etc. Also, with e-commerce platforms, there's an inherent security risk, right? Where, you know, the card's not present. You don't know if the person, the consumer using the card is who they say they are. Well, with Apple Pay, there's some ingrained security, right? Through, we talked about earlier, Face ID or Touch ID. So that better identifies the consumer or who they say they are, identifies the card information. So not only does this protect the merchant and the consumer, it also can result in reduced interchange fees for the merchant. At this time, Apple Pay on Online Order XT is supported with our Revel Advantage platform. So it's WorldPay. It will be coming soon for Adyen and Freedom Pay in the future. Next slide. Speaking of the Revel Advantage international offering, as Adyen, we rolled out our solution with a couple of different terminal offerings. One which was the Verifone V400, which is a mobile device, but it's a little larger. It had a built-in printer. It's a little more expensive because it's more feature capability. The feedback that we immediately heard from our merchants was they really wanted something more mobile, less expensive, something to fit in your pocket a little easier. So we responded by enabling an additional offering, the Verifone 285p. So it is, like I said, smaller footprints, Wi-Fi enabled, EMV and near field communication certified. It has been live for several weeks in our UK market, and we're bringing it generally available as a part of the 274 release. And with that, I'll hand it back to Sydney.
All right, thank you guys so much. So we've had some questions trickling in so far. Please feel free to keep them coming, and we will get to as many of these as we can. For any questions where the folks on the line today aren't the right person to address your question, we will make sure to follow up after the fact. So please do stay tuned if there's something that we don't get to that you're curious about. So the first question that I saw come through was for Jimmy, and it's, will order management updates on the POS, including the creation of an online order queue in the POS app where all native and third-party online orders can be displayed, will those be integrated with our online ordering delivery platform provider?
The answer to that is yes, absolutely. As long as the orders are coming in, online order and the flag says true on that, then it will show up in the third party aggregators will show up in our online app, our online order queue within the POS app.
And then we're going to stick with you, Jimmy, because the next one is, this question was that they would like to know if it's possible to easily access and view online orders, which I hope is the case, but if you want to elaborate.
Absolutely. That's exactly why we created the new online order queue. That's where you will have all of your orders where you can easily access them, because we know what kind of imposition it is on the business from an operational standpoint to be able to manage all those orders. So we want to create this to make online orders easily accessible, regardless of how they're coming into the store.
Thank you, Jimmy. I'll take the next one, which is a question about a static QR code being available for individual tables to facilitate better online dine-in orders. And so just as a note, our team is actually working on a solution called Smart Order, and it's not available yet, but will be in a future release. I don't have the exact timeline because we want to make sure that we work through all of the code and all the potential scenarios that we can foresee so that the product is fully ready to go live when it's released. So please do stay tuned for more updates on that. But this will be another way that you can leverage a QR code at your, especially table service or maybe fast casual establishments where this would be of benefit with payment and closing checks and turning tables. Our team will definitely notify clients when this solution is available. So please stay tuned for emails, Pendo updates, and the like. The next question is also a Jimmy question, which is, will third-party price upcharges be available to provide a different markup percent for pickup versus delivery within the designated channel, for example, DoorDash?
Yes, absolutely. That is something that we are currently working on and we have slated for release later this month. However, I always got to throw out there that things can change if we run into any problems when we QA this, but we should be seeing that come out shortly.
And then one more for you, Jimmy, is does Revel currently integrate with DoorDash and Uber Eats?
Great question. We do currently integrate with DoorDash Drive, which we covered extensively today. We are in our early adopter program with DoorDash Marketplace. Again, Drive is the courier service. Marketplace is the app, the DoorDash app. So that should be being released shortly. Again, I don't have any visibility on timelines, but you'll see that soon. And Uber Eats is on our roadmap, but I don't have any kind of visibility on when that will be released or when that integration will happen.
To be announced. You have to keep listening to us and reading our emails. This one might be for Clay. Clay, if it's not a question that you're sure about, then we'll definitely follow up after the fact. But the question was about using a CDS and a stationary device with 274. Is there an ability to sign on an iPad and get a signature line on a receipt at the same time? Is there any chance you know that one?
We'll have to follow up on that one.
Okay. Not a problem. There's another question about a plan for Revel to have a payment gateway solution for Middle East customers. We do not sell direct in the Middle East. We actually work with a reseller partner or a solution partner in that territory. So that's one that we can also follow up on after the fact to see exactly where we stand with payment gateway solutions in that specific region. Then there's another, Jimmy, I think this one will be for you. It's a question about whether there's a different way to see if an online order has been received. And so it says currently there's a purple bar that displays across the iPad, but if they're doing dishes or cooking, they may not notice it. So is there a different visual option, a different type of notification that they can set up?
It's a great question. It's something that we pondered if we should switch that. That would have delayed our online ordering queue even further out. So we decided to leave that static. And unfortunately, there's no other way to indicate that there's an online order that has been has come into the store. However, we're hoping this online order queue will give better access, more visibility on the orders as they come in, because you can easily click on it and see in a line or in a list view what has come into the store.
And then I think this will still be for you. And it's actually the same person who asked the last question. Congrats on the grand opening. They mentioned that they're new and are about a month in, and keep the questions coming. We love them. But the question itself is, where do they see the new queue? Do they need an additional iPad to do that? Or is that something that's available to them with their existing hardware?
It's available to you if your existing hardware. It should be on your order screen. Where you find your other order queues. If you have a drive-through, you should be familiar with it. If you're using DoorDash Drive, same thing. You'll be able to toggle on it or click on it and should bring you right to the screen. If you need any follow-up, you can reach out to me or support and they can walk you through the steps to how to access that.
And then there was a follow-up question about Smart Order and whether or not there will be an additional charge for subscription cost. That will be confirmed when we fully release the product. So again, stay tuned for details. We don't have that information locked in and ready to widely share just yet, but it will all be included as soon as you can actually take advantage of the new feature. So any final questions before we close this out? If there are any that you submitted that I did not address in real time, that's because we're not exactly the Revel experts that you need to answer them, but we will definitely follow up after the fact and really appreciate your time and attention today. So we'll do just a final call for questions. One more. So we've added new categories to the menu at this location, and they're not showing up online. They're not showing up on the online ordering system. How can they change that, Jimmy?
It's a great question. I don't have all the details to be able to troubleshoot live. I wish we had some more time to be able to do that. And congratulations on your grand opening. I hope you're swimming in the dollars already. However, I would strongly suggest reaching out to support so they can help support, give you the best support possible out there.
Yeah, so that's something you might be able to find that in the self-service resources, support.revelsystems.com. And if not on the help site, yeah, that's something where you can do a quick email to our support team or a phone call. There's a contact us section on Revel's website, and that'll have by geography the best phone number for you to dial. And with that, I think we're going to close just a couple minutes early, but want to extend one final thank you for everyone who joined us today, and certainly to everyone who has taken advantage of our latest app offerings. So we're excited to keep these coming, to continue iterating and improving and adding new great feature sets. And we're looking forward to the next update for all of you. So have a great day, evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you're located, and we'll be back soon.
Thank you all.